Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch the Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Mary Reynolds. I'm Jay. You want to see the beast?
Okay, so Glass, the review. We got a different background setup. We're getting ready to do our Patreon live stream here in a few, so we got a little bit of a different background for just this video. Hope you like it.
By the way, it was by an accident alone that I literally am wearing a purple shirt. It's talking about Mr. Glass.
Where's your MG
I want,
No Limit
that would be, I want one of those fucking things. No Limit Soldier. I thought I told you. You get all the characters back that we know and love from Unbreakable and Split. And James McAvoy, to me, is the shining star in the movie. He just is an amazing fucking actor overall. And damn, doesn't he look sexy with blue eyes? I just can't. You get lost in it.
Well, I don't know about that.
But it's not a DC movie. It's not a Marvel movie. It's not exactly in line with what you think is going to happen with the trilogy set of Unbreakable and Split. It does tie it up, but it's not like it's not like happy ending roses and rainbows kind of thing.
A lot of people have horror in their head going into it. And there's a little bit of horror in there with some of the stuff that James McAvoy's character does with the Beast.
You don't think he can? You don't think he can beat the Beast? You can't beat the Beast.
And James McAvoy, once again, he won't get a nod for it. For one, because it came out in January. For two, because the Oscar people are the fucking douchebag Oscar people. So he won't get one, but he deserves one. Like, his acting is top-notch, insane, batshit, crazy caca woohoo. He plays like 32 different characters. He's the new Eddie Murphy, but seriously.
He's great.
And he's amazing in the movie by himself. We were talking in the garage about Bruce Willis before, and how, like, in a lot of Bruce Willis's late movies, he's just not even trying. He's just there. And
he does seem like he's having kind of a good time.
Yeah, he looks like Brett Favre. First off, he looks just like Brett Favre, especially when he's walking through the street. But my favorite parts about the movie were actually the Unbreakable ties. To me, it doesn't really take the Split stuff to that much further of a territory. It was just nice to see some follow-up to the Unbreakable stuff, because in Split, you just got it at the very end, but in this, there's a lot between Bruce Willis and some of the characters from Unbreakable that we haven't seen since then.
M. Night Shyamalan is famous for his twists, and everybody knows he's got a twist, but sometimes
there was no holy shit dun 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 dun. There was no Saul split or twist moment.
Here's the twist, okay? They all team up together, Mr. Glass, the Horde, and the Overseer, and they fight the aliens from Signs.
That would be crazy.
No, I actually read that on IGN and
oh my god, Jay, I just realized something.
What?
Bruce Willis
is John McClane.
Alien from Signs.
He's afraid of water.
He's afraid of water.
They're afraid of water.
Jason's afraid of water. Freddy afraid of fire. How could we use that?
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. But I read that somebody said that on IGN, and actually it was funny because M. Night Shyamalan answered it, and he was like, "We got to stop the video. They've just figured out my next one." But he had said that he actually toyed around with an idea to bring more of his movies into the universe. But he said as he was writing it and getting more creative, I was like, "Oh fuck it, like it's just getting stupid now."
Yeah. And I think that he wraps up his storyline. You can feel how you want to feel about how he wraps it up. I think a lot of people are going to have wanted something different to happen, but he does wrap it up. And you do get the scenes, the fight scenes and whatever that are promised in the trailers. You get some really good crazy fight scenes.
The only thing about the fight scene, well, there's a couple, but I really felt like it felt so fucking contained. I really wanted it to be like the epic thing. I don't know, like when they were mentioning the showdown. Yeah. I thought it was going to go there, like we were going to see some cool shit, but I understand why he did it for, because it ties in with his ending. Yeah. And if he had done that, then it would have, and I think he was trying to make sure it wasn't MCU. And it wasn't DC.
I see that. I actually like that it's contained, because the way they do it with the camera angles, and that's one thing too about this movie, it's shot masterfully. And no matter how you feel about M. Night Shyamalan, his shit is shot really, really well.
I mean, it's one of those movies, again, that a lot of people, I could see it being a split kind of movie for the audience, because some people are going to fucking love the shit out of it, and other people are going to like just not like it at all and hate it. And then there's going to be that neutral area, and I think that's where I am for this movie.
Me too.
I like it. I just feel like there could have been things I would have done differently, but I mean that's the thing. Split and Unbreakable were good and really good. I mean, Unbreakable was fucking amazing. Yeah. And then you walk in there and knowing that as a fan, walking in and watching it, I think we all have our general expectations of what we wanted from the sequel, and sometimes you're not going to get all those met. However, on the whole, it does feel good. But on the whole, it's not as bad as the critics made it out to be. And I mean, definitely go check it out for yourself. Like, I recommend everybody go see it if you are a fan of the first two. You are going to get that love letter from those two movies in this as well, but it's going to be its own unique flair and flavor, which is always good. Samuel L. Jackson is such a great, cool motherfucker. that I would have had him do more than for the first 30 minutes of the movie, sitting in a goddamn wheelchair and looking with his hair all crazy. And like, he looked like what you feel like when you're hungover and you're sitting there trying to watch TV, but your brain is just like on fire. And you're like twitching and shit. Because, I mean, you're wasting, it's Samuel L. Jackson. Like, you're wasting him in 40 minutes. But I understand, again, it has a purpose. But I don't know.
Yeah. And ultimately, that's what I give the movie a 7. The first quarter of it with the Unbreakable stuff was fascinating, and I absolutely loved it. The entire second half of the movie, when we get to the scenes where they're at Sarah Paulson's plant or whatever, when they're doing the testing on him or whatever, I didn't check out, but I got a little bored.
There's some boring stuff.
It was a lot of like, okay, what are we gonna do here? Like, what's the fucking point? Like, where's this all going? And then the final,
we're gonna write a symphony.
The final act takes place, and you get your action, and it's really cool, and I like that part. How it ends doesn't upset me, but it's also nothing spectacular, but it's just not that bad. So ultimately I land on a 7.0, and I wrote an article about this on Medium called "What the fuck is your problem with M. Night Shyamalan?" and some people got really pissed.
Well, there's no problem. I don't have a problem with it.
If you guys would, by the way, I'll put a link to that down below if you go check it out. Do a lot of
His
shit.
His middle name's Knight. How can you have a bad problem with him? That's cool as shit.
But you know, there's something about M. Night Shyamalan that people just, I don't know if it's because that one movie did it to him, whether it was Signs that some people didn't like, which we loved. I think The Village was the main one that pissed people off. The Last Airbender, he had a couple bad movies in there.
The Lady in the Water.
He had a bad run. All right, he had a bad run. But he's bookended by some really good shit, and his stuff is fascinating to me because no matter what, it's going to be polarizing. You're just not going to get, aside from After Earth as his one movie, everything else is at least polarizing. It's at least interesting. It's fascinating to watch, and it's all got that really good film work to it. I like the guy. I root for him every single time. He swings for the fences. He's swing away Merle every single time, and I really do root for him. So that's I don't understand the fucking extreme hate, but if he does a movie that's not spectacular, you can expect everybody to ream the shit out of it, and that's what's happening.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. I'm going to give it a little higher than what Mike gave it. I liked it a little bit more, I guess, but there are things about it that, again, I would change it and do differently. However, I'm not M. Night Shyamalan. I can't do what he does. And the good thing about M. Night Shyamalan is, where Hollywood's culture is today, where they're just constantly churning up the same vomity bullshit that we see day in, day out, and there's nothing, again, I'm not going to go off on a tangent and talk about MCU and DC and the other superhero properties, but it's almost like there's a mirroring effect going on with a lot of these companies. Like, Marvel's doing so well that DC's coming along, people are giving them shit because they're not like Marvel, and then they'll give DC shit because they're too like themselves. But there's all this, you know, the clean Hollywood version of doing things, and M. Night Shyamalan, for better or worse, tries to maintain a uniqueness that's different from what Hollywood's doing. I mean, and I feel bad for him because I think that he was so good and effective with his great early success, like, you know, The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and things like that, with the twist endings and this crazy cool shit, and almost was the godfather of these twists like that he got, you know, people were like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, you gotta have a twist here, motherfucker. Like, I'm not even gonna see your films if you don't.
Meanwhile, there's a bunch of people going, why do you always try to throw twists in your movies? Yeah. Like, the guy can't win.
That's what I'm saying. And so I'm not, like, and sometimes he takes chances that don't pay off, and that happens. Like, The Village was a terrible movie. I didn't like the movie. It was a boring movie, but, you know, he thought it was good on paper, and maybe he thought it was going to be something else, and it just didn't happen. I mean, that's life. However, at the end of the day, M. Night Shyamalan is a guy that, despite the critics still chomping at his butthole, he still does his best to fucking give us something entertaining and to chew on. And again, this is one of those movies that I think is a unique M. Night Shyamalan blend of saying, I'm going to pay homage to the fans who loved Unbreakable and Split, but I'm also going to bring in new people because I want to add on something and then end it as well. Like, I don't want to keep going with this. Like, and I think that he didn't really have maybe he didn't even want a shared universe at some point. I mean, like I said, he had toyed around with the idea of bringing other movies in, but at the end of the day, I think he was like, I just want to do this once and then I'm done with it. Now I have other projects to do. So fucking kudos to him.
We'll go into spoiler territory here. So if you guys have not seen the movie, don't watch it. We're not going to pick apart the whole movie, go through the spoilers. Just to talk about a couple things. I think one of the, I won't even say problems with this movie, but one of the reasons this movie didn't end up being just amazing, you know, didn't like blow me away, is because,
or blow you, dirty fuck.
I felt like in the end what the movie had to say was, hey, you can unlock the potential. Sarah Paulson and her whole group, their whole idea here is that they want to keep this under the wraps. They want to stop both the good guys and the bad guys because they don't want this whole superhero thing happening. And what the end of the movie is trying to say is, hey, they don't want you to know how great you can be. These people are trying to hold you down and keep you from unlocking the potential of the mind, and you can do anything. And the problem I have with that is, as much I like that idea. I liked it. I don't know what that fart was.
What's that? Was that a fart?
I don't know.
Did you fart?
I know. I like that idea. I like the idea of that whole thing. But the problem is, it's the same thing they did with Split. That's what I got from Split. When he broke through the bars and he became the Beast, that's kind of what Split said. So they kind of said the same exact thing over again, but in a different way. I still liked it. It just didn't blow me away.
Well, the ending of the movie is nihilistic as fuck to me. I mean, it's one of those things it matters and it doesn't matter. I mean, they kill off all the fucking characters. Basically all your that was what the fuck are you doing? I was like, why are you taking my toys away? I'm not even done yet.
As a viewer, I didn't mind his decision to do it because it wrapped up his story for him. But I didn't know
as a fucking fan, I was like, don't you kill everybody?
Yeah.
Don't you do it? Don't you fucking do it? I didn't even want Elijah to say, what have you done? What have you done, Shyamalan? But and it's funny because it's fitting because I'm wearing that shit. As they were dying, and I knew it was real. I was like, it's not real. It's not real. It's gonna be some fucking Marvel bullshit dust storm. And then it was like purple rain, purple. I knew it was. I was like, oh, fucking the butthole dicks. I kind of feel like the end of the movie. I swear to God, dude. Because I mean, it was whatever. I mean, it's done. And I know it's M. Night Shyamalan saying I'm not coming back to this. This is it. But I felt like as the camera was zooming out, all of a sudden there was an eclipse and it says Heroes. It felt like Heroes, or like the beginning of a Heroes. The season, the TV show that was on years ago. I was satisfied, I guess you could say. It was a unenthusiastic hand job, but I had a good time.
One more thing I want to say about
McAvoy's pecs are impeccable.
Well, first off,
his pecs are impeccable.
He's huge.
He's a big
an inspiration
dude
to everyone. But I gotta say, Sarah Paulson would be in my top 3 of all time. I know that sounds crazy.
The doer?
Yeah.
She's gay, man. You missed your train.
That's okay. But there's something about her, man. I think I'm in love with Sarah Paulson.
That's gross.
I know. It's weird. Her name is Sarah Paulson. The fight scene that happens at the end, where you're looking at it and you're wondering if this is real, if they're really not superheroes.
That was a cool one.
It was cool, and I love that exact moment where Bruce Willis is bending the thing
it's fucking real.
And closing those dudes in there. I'm thinking either it's real or I'm thinking, wouldn't this be crazy if you've got these 3 people out here and they're just out here in this sandbox fucking fighting and shit, and they just believe they're superheroes. They just believe that shit.
Like a mass psychosis or something.
Yeah, and really the way the movie wraps up is everyone's right. They're kind of like, well, superheroes aren't superheroes, but these people believed it in their brain and they unlocked that potential, so superheroes are real. It never really picks either way, but I enjoy that idea a lot.
I like when they were researching the comic books and the girl from Split says that in the very first comic book of Superman, he couldn't fly at first. It doesn't mean that these guys unlocking the human potential, as you would say, isn't going to maybe be able to fly one day. Bruce Willis may be able to fly as he gets stronger. You see it in the trailer when Bruce Willis breaks the fucking steel door. Yeah. And I was like, there's no way. Because Elijah says, he goes, well, you couldn't break that steel door because if it was a steel door and you're a human, regular human, you'd break every bone in your body. He broke the steel door. I was like, he's real. You were wrong. He's real. Fake news. Fake news, Sarah Paulson. Fake news. Because Sarah Paulson the entire time was like, oh my God. And there's one, she's sadistic as fuck in one scene. When they're drowning David, that was a fucking heartbreaking scene. It really was. It's like if Marvel had balls and kills Captain America for good. Yeah. It's like watching that happen. And, he's dying. He's dying in water. And then she gets sadistic with it. She looks at him, take my hand, David. And she's like, did you one time ever believe that you weren't anything more than a human? Yeah. She's basically rubbing it in his fucking face.
Well, I think, it seemed that way, but I think in all actuality, it's kind of what she says towards the end. She's like, what I'm trying to do is this is the most humane way. The 3 days I had or whatever, it was with this weird group I have going on to let me talk you out of the fact that you're a superhero so we don't have to kill you. Because in the end, if I can't talk you out of it, we're going to have to kill you. No. And that's what you didn't know the whole time. So at the very end, she wants to know for that the next time this happens, she thinks she has a chance. Because if he looks at her and says, yeah, I did think for a second, she can go, I'll keep up with my work. Mm-hmm. I don't have to kill you guys every time this happens. But I like the idea. Hey, I think it's a cool idea that there's this Sarah Paulson group out there that's keeping all of us from knowing what we're really capable of. Because when you think about, even when it comes down to ghosts, like nobody ever catches ghosts on camera, nobody believes it.
It's the Matrix.
Nobody ever captures superpowers. Like, you want to believe that some of that shit's real, maybe not ghosts, but superpowers.
I think they are.
You want to believe that there's something fantastical still out in the world.
I've got something to tell you.
For us all to discover. And the idea that there's this group out there keeping us from knowing about it, and it's not just the boring old FBI shit, is kind of cool. So I dig that, and it adds a whole new layer to the unlocking the human potential storyline. So
see, I went the other way with that. I thought that she was the whole idea behind the Illuminati group that she works for. There's two keys. The one, she says, we've been fine for 10,000 years. Obviously, humanity's been around longer than that. So 10,000 years. They knew before there were superheroes or people with maximum human potential, whatever that led to. That's what Elijah was talking about, that the comic books are based on some form of reality. Yeah. And then they came along, the group, and squashed it and stopped it from, going out into the real world. And two, when she said, I think the whole idea of her being there to get them, docile, believing that they weren't superhuman anymore, was because once they were that way, they were going to kill them because they were too much of a threat to stay alive. The Illuminati's not going to leave them alone. There's a possibility that something else might happen at some point, and that would unlock them again. Because all Bruce Willis has to do is bump into somebody and fucking get the vision.
Well, you would think. I think that's kind of a plot hole. But I do think that the movie was trying to say that they want to talk you out of it. They want to trick you into believing, like they went as far as trying to do surgery on Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Like they just want to trick. She has 3 days basically in my mind to trick them out of the fact, so that if they go out and they go, you know what, I'm not a superhero. You're right. That it is kind of a plot hole that they would just let him back on the streets.
No one's ever going to convince me.
But I do think that's what the movie was trying to say. So either way, we both liked it enough. Like, it's not the best M. Night Shyamalan movie yet.
But I didn't leave. Like, again, you're not going to feel like you wasted your money going.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But some people just get so fucking hateful towards M. Night Shyamalan movies, and feel how you want to feel, man.
I can't wait for The Village Part 2. Still in the Village.
Comment down below with your all thoughts. We love your fucking faces, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you. One thing I want to know real quick: how do you guys rank the 3 movies? For me, it goes Unbreakable, Glass, and then Split.
Unbreakable, Split, this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably feel that way, or putting Split first. I don't know, man. It didn't do it for me. And for me, Split, I didn't really, other than the girls, and they were so much a victim for most of it, I didn't really have someone to root for. Having Bruce Willis in these 2 movies puts him above that for me.
I think The Split is just one of those movies. For me, I watched it, got better with time. Maybe Glass gets better. I don't know. If it comes out on Blu-ray, maybe I'll be the same way. I have no idea. But
hope y'all have a good goddamn weekend.
There you go. And I'm just going to let you guys know. Want my headphones back? And don't even ask to play with me because I'm not interested.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.